There's a secret cave in here? What's going on here?
There's a turtle in here.
Oh my.
His
This
name's
turtle
Jeremy.
Jeremy is dangerously close to the fire. You're gonna be turtle
Okay.
soup soon, my friend. Oh no! Oh no!
Cut this. Cut this. They can't know.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. ClickWell here, and we are back, of course, on the CraftWell SMP. Thank you so much for checking this one out, guys, and I want to say thank you for all of your support on my channel lately. We are getting so close to 1,000 subs. We are so close to monetization. I really appreciate all the support, all the comments. You guys are amazing. If you haven't mashed that subscribe button, thank you so much for doing that right now. Okay, let's get started. Today we're going to be talking a little bit with Pear, because like I mentioned in the last video, we are lacking in the terraforming department. We really need some education on how to build cliffs and hills like this, and that's where Pear is amazing. So we're going to meet with Pear today, and he's going to teach us a little bit about how to make cliffs just like this. He's got to be around here somewhere. If I look over here on the active players, yeah, there he is. Okay, so I'm going to guess, yep, as he renders in, Pear, my good man.
Ah, Clickwell. Hello. How are you?
Arr. And I'm on scaffolding. I pressed shift by mistake, like an amateur.
Yeah, the half scaffolding crew. That's what they call us.
That's right. Oh, I got that resource pack that allows me to see through the scaffolding. It's this is the first time I'm actually noticing it. It's pretty trippy to look at it right through the middle, but I digress. I digress, Pear. So, okay. So, what are we doing here? We're doing something that looks intimidating to me.
It is minorly scary, I'll be honest, but this is the wild and wacky world of terraforming, of breathing life into stone.
Ooh, what a nice way to put that.
Yeah, I've rehearsed that one for a couple of weeks, to be honest. I'm glad I finally got to use it.
I think you wrote that one on your hand, didn't you? It's probably...
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly rub that off. I'll be back in a second.
Oh, this looks fantastic, dude. This really does. I don't know. Every time I fly by this, I just can't help but like you said, notice the life kind of coming out of it. And what's your first kind of go-to move when you look at something like this and decide you want to put up a wall or a cliff?
The most important rule of terraforming is it doesn't need to look like a cliff. It needs to look enough like a cliff that people see it and think, ah yes, that's a cliff, and then not pay it any more attention. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be.
It's a humble statement, Pear, but I do get what you're saying. I think it kind of like, what's that little thing where basically your brain likes to fill in the gaps sometimes when you see something, you may see something other than what you see. Yeah, it's...
like an optical illusion.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what you're saying, that your builds look so good because of optical illusions. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna remember that.
I'm actually paying you like 20 quid an hour just to keep saying this looks good.
Yeah, we're about to go over the hour mark now, so we better start talking about some actual...
Right, that's it. I'm out now. Goodbye.
All right, bye, Pear. All right, that was a good one. So, everyone, thanks for coming by. Oh, there you are.
So
great. Okay.
Hello.
Honestly, it's what it is to me, to be perfectly honest, is the randomization that gets me. Maybe can you kind of talk about I mentally understand how you prepare for something like this, but actually physically, what's your go-to move in terms of, like, do you start from the bottom, do you start from the top? How do you sort of choose what goes out where? Like,
it's designed, but you've got to design it to be random. So I guess that's not really a helpful answer.
Well,
but
that makes sense.
But with a cliff like this, you don't want to start from the top, because you've got to then get below the blocks you're placing, and it's harder to get a general look for it. When I started doing it at the very top because I wanted to make the shape, and then I was like, oh, I've got to get this at the bottom. So it's really so much better just to start from down here and just do something as simple as, I want 3 here, then I'm going to go out like this, just something like that, because then you go, okay, well, I want this bit to be 3 high, then I want the next layer, and like that, and you can make your sort of a template almost.
Okay.
So if you look, it is just a template. But if you head around the back here and look at the sort of secrets, you'll see it's just all flat at this bit. And if you head further around to this bit,
yeah, it does look very different from the other side, doesn't it? It almost seems like the previous block you placed help you decide where the next one goes. So you are kind of making it up as you go, but you're setting yourself up a pattern while you're doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sort of premeditated randomization. which is a
Very cool.
phrase I never thought I'd say.
Okay, what about block choice here? You know, we've all seen good builders do their thing, and not that I want to maybe put him in the amazing builder category, but we all know Mumbo sort of is his go-to sort of joke move is to use his scrolly wheel on his mouse to pick the random blocks. You seem to be a little bit more precise about your movement, your placement of the cobble here. Is that do you place your all stone first, and then you stand back and insert the cobble, or do you do it as you go?
It's really hard to do it as you go because you can't really detail something till you've got something to detail, right? You can't make a cliff look beautiful if there's no cliff in the first place. So what I did was this was all just stone at one point. I built a section all stone, and then I just go, okay, so there's a lot of stone here, break that one, put in cobble.
Okay.
So you don't want there to be too much stone. See here, you've got quite a bit of stone together.
Right.
So if I had andesite, I'd put it down here, but I'm terribly lazy and forgot, so we'll put a bit of cobble.
Okay.
And so you just want to see any large bits and break them up. So break them up with these little these stairs to give sort of depth, using slabs as well, just to give it some more interesting shapes. Basically, you don't want anyone to look at the cliff and think, this is just a bit of stone.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. Yeah, absolutely. It's a mess. It's a mosaic of blocks that just kind of make a one beautiful image here, and I think I'm finally starting to get it.
Right, what I'll do is I'll give you a little layout. So you want to go like this. So if you just take these 7 blocks along here.
Okay, all right. And we're going to try and replicate what's going on here, but just with my own little style, and we're going to use all stone to start. Okay, all right. Well, no better time to get started than now, so let's do this.
Yeah, you got this, Cliff.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you. This is so intimidating to me, but, you know, once you do it, like I said, like when you pull back the curtain, you kind of see how the sausage is made, so to speak, and makes it a little bit less scary. Did I just say how the sausage gets made? That's weird. Okay.
Yeah, no, this one's not going in the video, is it? We're going to redo that take.
No, the sausage is getting in.
No, I'm gonna pull you up on something here, Click.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna bring you down here. We got just a straight. Ooh, there we are. And then if we put another one there, maybe.
I like it.
We've added shape.
We do not want. That was very dramatic. I guess the one big no-no in this, and that makes total sense, is just sharp hard angles. You know what I mean? Like you don't want those big 90 degrees.
No, because you don't really see a cliff do that, right? Again, you've got to make it look just enough like a cliff that they believe it.
Right. I guess a hard angle is not a natural shape in the real world, right?
No. Yeah, one great tip I'd say is stack up on ender pearls because you need a lot of them.
I didn't think about that. That's a really good tip. I
I've
don't have any ender pearls on me. That's terrible. I sell them in a shop, or I give them away in a shop. Hold on. Okay, so I'm stepping back right now, and my first thought is it's a little bulky. It's a little bulky.
It is.
I think that maybe I went a little too heavy here. What do you think?
I think the lower bit's pretty good. I think when you get higher, your problems start because remember, when we're not detailing it yet, we're just building it. So don't worry about making slabs or stairs or anything fancy like that. We'll save that for later. I've highlighted something.
Yes, I see it. I see it.
Very flat.
It's like a billboard.
Yeah, and we're not. Well, we could actually maybe market things on here. You know, capitalism has even invented. Yeah. Okay. You know, the capitalist pirates of ClickWell, but I think we need to sort of shape this bit up to be like that, and then it matches that and still gives the pattern, for example.
You almost look behind it and kind of mirrored it a little bit to kind of because that's how it works in in real life. You look at a cliff and you see it kind of tapers down, right? Yeah.
All coming together now.
It's almost like waves in a way. It almost looks like a rippling wave effect. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you go for the sort of template, because that way you just get 3 blocks here, and whatever you do to them, if you do like this here, for example, then for the next one you just sort of go like that, there, and just layer it up behind like this.
Right.
You know, and you just sort of patterns within patterns. You know, infinite circle.
And then if you want to step back a little bit further to have a look, like right now I'm starting to see a little bit more of a broader shape. Yeah, I guess every now and then it's kind of important to, just like when you're cooking, tasting your food, it's important to kind of step back and taste your cliff a little bit and just see how the flavor is,
I mean, it's probably going to be high in iron, but I wouldn't recommend eating it. So you've got grass that will go down on the top for the last bit, so that will cover up that
true,
bit there.
true,
So yeah, I think that's a very serviceable job on the cliff.
I'm impressed.
Now, yes, very good. Not bad for sort of first try.
All
Now
right.
that was a nice thing I said. I was complimenting you. Don't make me take it back.
Okay, you know what? We're going to leave that in no matter what. Anytime you say something nice to me, I'm going to put a little marker on it. And we're going to just put that in whether it works for the video or not. The general shape is kind of like coming together now. We can see where, I guess, where it's starting to turn and how it sort of blends into the previous section of the wall, which is awesome. But it's standing out like a sore thumb in terms of color and texture. So what's the deal here? What do we do now?
So now we get to bring in the fun blocks, and the fun blocks of cobblestone.
Oh boy, we're gonna have some on.
Yay!
That enthusiasm sounds incredibly forced.
Please, I don't want to be too loud because I've got new flatmates, and if I sort of shout like "yeah," they're gonna be like, "Oh, he's
so
just
kind
a
of you." Wow,
weird
nice.
kid." Excellent. So, what you need to do is just start punching holes and filling with cobble. You want sometimes clump it together, but you don't want it just sort of stacking on top of each other. So if I get my cobble out and just go like bap, 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 you'll see you've got a nice sort of spread of it at different heights and different widths, and they're close, but they're not too close, if you know what I mean. You got those two. You do want to have a couple close.
I've noticed when someone like B-Dubs or one of my favorites is building, they do a lot of blending, more blending near the bottom. You know what I mean? They'll always try and kind of work their way up and sort of do some gradients. So I may see more cobblestone at the bottom. Is that something you've ever tried to work with, or is that something you've noticed?
Well, gradients are weird. I don't like using them in terraforming as sort of a personal thing, because I think here I'm trying to make a pirate cliff. If it was more fancy, I'd go for maybe something tighter, you know,
like a big castle wall or something.
Yeah, if you go back to your garden that I made for you all those moons ago,
right,
you'll look at the cliff and you'll see that is a gradient that I've done there for you. You come over, it's
yeah. Holy cow, you know what? That didn't click in until you said it, and that's what we were talking about before, is it has to look natural enough where it doesn't really say something to you, you know, when you're looking at it closely, but from a distance it kind of just blends in. Wow, that didn't click in until right now. The detail is just screaming now that we're talking about it. I walk up this pathway like every day and just never clicked in that you were using a gradient here. Just, you know what I mean? It just kind of blended into my eye. Very cool.
Well, I'm sure it's clicked well now. Because you're click. Anyway, let's head back.
Great. So, yeah, great. Okay, so that makes sense. You know, it's a pretty simple explanation, but I think it's a pretty simple thing to explain.
What I'd suggest you do is one block at a time. So do all the cobble, then do all your andesite, and then do your sort of stair shaping in the dents. Because otherwise, you're just going to think, what do I do here? What do I do here? And then you're going to panic, and you're going to
one thing at a time is less intimidating. Yeah, exactly. And then you start to get less overwhelmed. Okay.
Exactly.
Perfect. Okay, let's do this. I didn't even see that. Look at this.
It's gone.
I've angered it. Ow!
And
ow.
me.
You're gonna like take me out.
Make me fire again.
There we go. Boom.
Yeah. I think this is starting to come together very nicely.
Ooh.
Now we're on to the final step.
It's like a Bob Ross painting.
Yeah. But like less watercolor and more stone.
Yes, and more less personifying blocks in paint.
Yeah. Let me introduce you to my best friend, the stone cutter.
Oh, this thing that only real, true terraformers and builders use.
Yeah, if you don't have a stone cutter, do you? So you're just a nerd.
I do have one, but I don't use it, so that makes me a nerd.
You are super cool. So when you need stone stairs, just chuck stone in and stone stairs 1-to-1.
Save you some blocks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the most efficient way of doing it while saving blocks. And now we need to put some stairs and slabs in. So the first thing you want to consider is shape and then depth. You see this here doesn't quite look natural because you've got like this 4 blocker.
Yes.
And then you put down a bam and suddenly it looks better. You just sort of put them in, and you can use smooth stone, cobblestone and andesite as your stairs and slabs. And you just want to put them everywhere. So for example here on this here, you might want to put just like a smooth stone slab to just lift it up a bit more and give it a bit more shape. And the world's your oyster. Just don't have an allergy to shellfish.
You make it sound so thrilling, you know?
No, it is. It's scintillating.
Yeah, man, that does make such a difference. What a difference that makes.
Yeah, you don't need them everywhere, just every so often, just to give it a bit of shape. I'd also advise going like same stair on top of same block. Like that.
So what I just did here, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's then just sort of an overload of cobble there.
Right.
And it doesn't quite look right, in my opinion.
You say so don't match up the blocks like that.
No.
Oh, I thought you were saying
to
do that. Yeah, okay, alright, that makes sense.
Yeah, that looks
almost stands
there.
out too much, I think, with the andesite there.
Maybe you want a slab there, perhaps. A smooth stone slab could be.
Oh yeah, because then I think it's gonna make this look a lot less thick at the top there. Yeah, that is better. You know what? I'm realizing right now too, as kind of going through this, is 2 heads better than 1 when it comes to terraforming.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you think about something like this? Oh, actually, that's not gonna work. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a better place to do this. Perfect.
Yeah, that works fine.
Like, because on a brick wall it works. Because you can imagine there may be a brick missing or something, but on a wall like this.
Well, you don't want to have just one of them. It's just erosion, isn't it? The more you put, the more legitimacy. If you look at this bit, which is my favorite bit to look at, they do work. You just have to make them normal. Because if there's only one of them, it's going to stand out.
Definitely.
But when you've got lots of them, they don't stand out. And I'm going to steal some
That's
vines.
interesting. That's interesting. That's not really the way that you'd assume it would work, right? The more there is, the less you notice it. But yeah, that's definitely the way it works for those. This looks really cool, by the way. Sorry, but while I'm looking at it, yeah, these little stones do look really nice, natural, and sort of increases the realism. Is this? There's a secret cave in here? What's going on here?
There's a turtle in here.
Oh my!
His name's Jeremy.
Jeremy is dangerously close to the fire. You're gonna be turtle soup soon, my friend. Oh no! Oh no!
Cut this. Cut this. They can't know. Look what I've got here, Clip. Oh, it's breaking free. I was gonna burn that one alive too, but
oh well. Well, you know, he's safe now. He's safe from the clutches of
He's here with his friends, swimming with the fishes.
Yeah, that's true. Man, there's a lot of squid around here. Okay, all right, we're getting sidetracked with squid. We're getting squid tracked. Okay, what about? Let's talk a little bit about dirt. The cat. Let's talk about the hat that this thing is wearing.
Yes. So if you fly up to it quickly, and if you look at it from behind, you'll see how lazy I've been.
Oh yeah.
So I just do.
But this won't be visible anyway, right? But yeah, okay.
No, because eventually I'm gonna grass this all up. But
so
with this hanging down bit here, though, is where the fun begins. So when you look, use F5, it's all sort of droopy. So what I tend to do is just sort of.
I'm hanging out with my toenails here. Hold on.
Very strong toes, Click.
Yeah, you know. I'm a ballerina for many years.
Get those checked out.
No. It's a skill.
But when you look at this, you'll see there's a pattern here, and we don't like patterns because when there's patterns, things look the same. So if we go for something more like that, it looks a bit different. It's all about just varying it up a little bit, like this.
Interesting.
I am going to place loads of grass eventually, but I am not mentally prepared for that. Because if you look at this bit roller coaster, this is my favourite thing I did, and this is the first thing I did, was I blended the roller coaster in with the terrain. So you'll see all this lovely detailing I did when I could be bothered to place grass blocks down.
Wow.
And
look at this, guys.
It's like 3 blocks wide, don't fathom me. Wow. Yeah, I specifically designed this bit of roller coaster so it'd be just slow enough that you'd just slow down and look over and then plummet back.
We're telling a story. We're adding lore to the spawn, and you know what I mean. You got to think about all that kind of stuff. Any thoughts on sort of that? I guess I kind of pretty much just said it, but it's a process, you know. It's like, and I think that the story may change as you build as well, right? And sort of realize how things look, because you know things look different in your brain than they do on paper, right?
Yeah, make a cool piratey place to start with. And I've sort of incorporated a bit of lore. So again, if you look down over the waterfall, you'll see there's a little boat with a pirate in it, which is neat.
That's right.
I haven't configured the armor stand yet. And then, so you can sort of guess, oh, this boat's coming into land. Why is it landing here? Aha, because there's a secret cave in the waterfall. And yeah, going back to the lore point quickly, if you just come up these caves.
Yeah.
Which they're not really caves to start, but they will be if you head up to the left.
Cool.
You see you've got a cannon overlooking the dock. Therefore,
More
they're
lore.
having to defend this place, and there's a dock there, so there might be boats there, and there might be pirates attacking the boats or whatever with this cannon that's made in about 2 minutes, this cannon, but still it looks cool. Yeah, so you've made your first cliff. I'll do a little bit of touching up on it, just to make sure it's,
Wow.
perfectly fitting in, because I still need to do the midsection.
I think I'm really, really happy with this. Thank you so much for this. I want to ask you for one more favor before we go.
Yes.
And I know that maybe some people watching maybe fit in the same category as I do. I'm not generally building enormous cliffs like this often. I mean, this is going to be very, very handy for when I'm kind of dressing up around my base and stuff. The one thing I'm building quite more often, which may be more helpful, is things like hills. Things like hills, small hills, bumps, things like that around to kind of make the land look more natural, the topography, that kind of stuff. What do you? Let's just fly over here maybe to a little bit more of a flatter spot where there's not much going on.
I presume I'm going to use this little bit of land here. This could be quite good.
This looks pretty unnatural, so I think this would be a good spot to kind of talk
I think we're actually going to start by looking over here. We have the 2 cardinal sins of hilling, if you allow me to go that far. You see we've got this too high thing here, which is just... And then you've got stairs.
Mm-hmm.
These are... Oh, I missed that last out.
Everywhere I look, I see stairs. Yeah.
So the first thing you got to do is, if I just sort of... I'm going to tear this bit away here. Right, you need to make it natural. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend this bit out here, like so, and then we want to just go a bit more out like so, and then maybe a bit longer here.
Oh, what a difference! Okay, I just gotta say it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna come right out and say it. What is it with builders and landscapers where you have to leave giant bare patches of empty land? It's like, why can't you guys fill that up? That's crazy. That drives me nuts. The entire area under my base is a giant cavern of mobs at the moment. But you know what? I guess we can live with it. I guess we can live with it in this case.
Well, why waste resources filling it up when you can just put down, like, look, 1 torch, done.
I guess.
Bye.
Don't you know it's here? Doesn't it just?
Yeah,
don't you have trouble sleeping, Pear? I don't.
No, not particularly.
Okay. All right. I think the cardinal rules, if you follow those kind of religiously, it's going to be kind of hard to screw it up with this. Like, let me see if I can mess around a little bit over here with this hill and see if
I'd also add a caveat: never do anything straight. Like, if I take this out, it doesn't look as good, does it? It's flat.
Yeah, it doesn't.
If you then build a path up this that goes like this, that is so boring to look at, isn't it?
True.
You want to make it meander, which is, if you remember your garden, I did.
Mm-hmm.
The path takes a nice sort of flowy route, and it, it looks lovely.
Scenic route, right?
I'm gonna keep stroking my ego here, but
well, that's kind of what today's about. So, in terms of taking a spot of land, if I can just fly over here real quick for a second, Pear. Let's say we wanted to build in this area in the big open plains area or whatever it is, and we've got a kind of a big flat area here, and we build our base kind of in the middle, as most people kind of do. Usually people kind of find a plateau like this and kind of build their house in the middle. When you see a structure like that, how do you sort of envision the area around it? And I'm not talking about just the hills and the topography of the land. How do you envision color, sort of texture, that kind of stuff? Do you kind of go from a picture inside of your head, or do you kind of make it up as you go along? What's your strategy?
Sort of do both. I try not to get so constricted to one way of thinking that I can't look at an alternative, but it is good to have a plan. So, for example, you might want to just say we want to have a sort of a path running up to this bit here. It's going to curve back this way a bit though, like so. It's a bit wonky, but yeah, you've got a path like that, and then you've got to think, well, what is the house and what would it be? So, for example, if it's just a regular house, you might expect to see just some regular flowers, so a couple of poppies or some roses, maybe a little wheat farm, because you don't want to be just too bizarre. Because if you've got oriental design here, and then you've got a main attraction that's just sort of a stone pillar, they don't add up.
Right, you have to connect it,
work.
Right? It has to weave together. Fair.
So you want to just consider all of that, and above all, please use flowers. because flowers make things prettier.
Does make a big difference, doesn't it?
If you go back to the entrance gate, because this is the sort of thing you're talking about, I presume.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think I know exactly what you're going to say.
Yeah, why have you put an eye going on? But if you look, you'll see there's just a few sort of threads that pull it all together. So the first one, blue orchids. They just
love them.
You
one
can
of my favorite.
follow the orchids.
Too. Yeah. It's almost like it leads you home. Oh,
yeah, but the fences, the bamboo, they keep your eyes moving, and then you see everything just goes with the flow. So you start by going around to the left here on the path, and you're at the little pool here, and then you go up and through this gate, and then you're at the sort of pagoda, and then you're at the cliffs. It's sort of a natural progression. It's spaced out, and then when you get to the top, you're sort of here, home run or home stretch with the tree you then ruined by putting diamond blocks in.
Nope, made it better.
But again, you'll still see orchid, light, light, orchid. It keeps you going, and the little bushes as well help with that as well. Just sort of keeping your eyes moving and following the story of the build is really important.
Again, I've been up and down this path a million times, and just that sort of the orchids and everything tying together, it's something you don't realize until it's sort of talked about, and it's just, how did I not notice all that stuff? It's just, you know what you're doing with this? You're just drawing the eye, and you're just, you're manipulating the crap out of me right now, and I love it. And you know what? Even walking through the gates sort of makes it feel a little bit more like it adds to that lore in a way where you feel a little bit more like it's a private residence, and you're kind of walking into an area that's been designated for something. But awesome. Pear, this has been such an incredible lesson today. You taught me so much about this stuff, and just these little lessons are going to really be able to help me kind of expand and kind of create my own building style, I think, too. So, you know what? I can't say thank you enough, buddy.
You're very welcome. It's my pleasure.
Sweet. I think we're going to leave it right there for today, guys. We learned a ton today about beautification. Pear helped us bring our building game to another level. And of course, if you learned a little bit of something today too, stop by Pear's channel. I'll leave you a link below. Show him a sub, show him some love, and I will see you guys next week on the CraftWell SMP. Stay well, stay safe. I love you tons. Peace.